Yo, new day, new day, Hollow Knight Nation! I desperately want to talk about two things at once, which has never happened before, trust. Arcane and Red Dead, but I'm gonna hold off on Red Dead because there's a big mission coming up, and I think I will have more to speak of then, and I also desperately want to just wrap my head around what happened in, the entirety of Season 2 of Arcane. So here we are, Arcane yapping session. What the fuck? What the hell? What the shit happened? A lot of people died. Who, I don't know, I didn't know that this was actually gonna be the final season, Looking back, yeah, the writing was on the wall, but there's still, for now, still opportunities for a Season 2, sure. There are still, open ends, but a lot of the ends are being closed. Also because, we had a literal world humanity-threatening threat in Victor, and that is now gone. So that's a whole thing that, you can't possibly top that. Probably. I'm not gonna, carve that into my head or something like that. But, it is... A lot of shit happened, right? In terms of just characters and, them actually finally coming to an end, final conclusions. Because, again, this is the series finale. A lot of shit happened. Oh my god, a lot of shit happened. A lot of, dimension hopping, which, all the dimension hopping and, time warping thingy, it all happened in one episode, which I'm grateful for. But god, it all happened at once, which was really hard to keep track of, especially because some of it is way more interesting than others. And some of it makes way more sense than others. For example, I had no fucking clue what the runes actually meant. Those runes, the guard-looking guy, Ambessa's guard, was just kinda... He just had some runes on him, just like a green wristband or something, armband. And I did not know what the hell they did, but they were getting a little too much focus for me to just ignore them, and I was waiting for an explanation, and the explanation came in the form of just the runes have some sort of power to, deflect attacks or something like that. And it has, I don't know, it has, certain amount of charges or something like that. I'm thinking what happened is probably it's just a League of Legends ability, and I have not touched League of Legends ever, so I don't really know what, I don't know, I didn't catch any of the references, because I'm not cringe and I do not play League. Thank God. But that also means I'm probably missing out on a bunch of lore that I maybe should have known, and maybe, I don't know, just cool concepts. Because, I don't know, I didn't really know that League actually had lore until Arcane. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. There's probably way more lore out there that is just not mentioned. And if there were to be a sequel to Arcane, it's probably gonna be, some sort of... I don't know, just following other League characters? I don't really know. I don't know what characters there are. I don't know who of the main cast here are actual characters. I don't know. I know Jinx is. I'm pretty sure Victor is. And I'm pretty sure, who's the name? Caitlyn is also. I'm pretty sure. I don't know for certain. I don't know, I am not invested in League lore whatsoever. I'm invested in Arcane lore, sure. I don't know, is Jace a character, a playable character? I don't know. I have not touched or laid my eyes upon any League other than Arcane. So, I don't know, I'm not updated on what the situation is there, but in the series so far... I guess so far, meaning, the conclusion to the entire story is absolutely beautiful. It's goated. You know, I was afraid going on, you know, it was just gonna go down the shitter as Season 2s usually do. But no, this was peak through and through. It was arguably even better than Season 1. It has some aspects that were better at least. There were a lot of soundtracks, not even like soundtracks, just like songs. It felt kind of like a musical, I gotta be honest. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I just think there was so much of it that it became kind of, you know, in the first season it felt special. Like, yeah, something special is actually happening whenever you just hear a full-on song coming on. But this time around it happened like, I don't fucking know, 2 or 3 times an episode, and it just, you know, it didn't feel as epic. Although the story was, you know, that happened, there was a lot more things happening in the series itself, so I respect that. Like, you know, you see it from the perspective of, you know, it's a song coming on whenever something epic is happening, and something epic is happening every like 10 minutes in the series in Season 2. So I get it from that aspect, but it still kind of just pulls away the epicness of that. That's like one of the biggest critiques I can come up with, and one of the only critiques I can come up with for Season 2. The other one being, again, kind of convoluted story-wise in Season, or Episode, I think, 7 or 8. Whenever we delve into... It must be Episode 7, yeah. Whenever we delve into the... not backstories, but just like alternate dimensions, and we actually see a version of Piltover where Jinx is actually, she's a good guy. She's a, you know, she's just living her best life. Silco and Vander are still buddies. They're still bros, even though it's apparently after the time that they decided to kill each other. That's, you know, I don't really know. They just smooth things over, and now they're back to being buddies. And then, yeah, the only real thing of substance here in this universe is that, you know, obviously Jinx is a whole new character. There's still, like, fragments of her there. There's still, you know, she's still a bit fucking zany, and I don't know. She's still a goofers, but the main thing is that Vi is apparently dead. So, that's, you know, not the greatest. But in return, we get, again, a good version of Jinx, which is, you know, Jinx herself does not believe, like, our version of Jinx, she does not believe that there's any version of her out there that is good. But we obviously see that that's wrong. And, you know, we also get in return that the two dudes, the two fella guys that I cannot remember the name of, they are also alive at this point, because, you know, all of the, I don't know, alternate timeline thingy. So that's a whole thing that happens. That's like the first dimension where we see our versions of Echo and Heimerdinger are. That's like the explanation of where they have been this entire time. They've just been chilling in another universe. Heimerdinger has been... This is also like the time fuckery thing coming in. We see that Heimerdinger has been there for, I think, 3 years. Just chilling in this version of Piltover. And he seems to very much be enjoying it. Because, you know, he kinda wants to stay. And he also, you know... It's kind of revealed that Echo and Jinx have a thing for each other in this universe. They are, yeah, they're a thing. So, you know, it's kind of hard for Echo to leave, but he eventually decides to, with, you know, with a little push from what's his name, Heimerdinger. Because, again, they have their original universe. They know that people are in deep trouble in that universe. And, you know, it's just... it's a whole thing with also, I don't know if that universe is actually real or like what there are some like, you know, glitches in reality, so to speak, that are going on that I don't really know how to explain, and I cannot remember the times. Like I don't know if the times they show up are that important, or if it's just like, hey, this reality is kind of not in the perfect state right now, and to save the, it's not really explained outright, but I'm pretty sure the intention is that there is like one canon universe, and that is the one that's being fucked up right now, and that's kind of, you know, again, not the greatest. I'm dying here. Yep. Okay. Oh well, we're doing another run. I'm behind on runs anyway. So yeah, they head back to the universe. They kind of, I think they just like reverse engineer some of it. It kind of feels like you were seeing the creation again. I've just gotten off of Outer Wilds. It feels like you're seeing the Ashen Twin project like in real time, because they are like recording, they're seeing like, okay, you can actually go back in time. Let's like test this and see how far, and you know, make a little contraption so you can go back in time and use that device to somehow go back to your own reality, something like that. I don't really know how it works. Someone deeper into the lore can explain that, but you know, it is what it is. They get back to their own universe. Meanwhile, another universe that is opened is Jace's, who is also in another universe, where it's basically our universe, the original, but where Victor won. Where Victor is... He has completely fucking eradicated basically all life. And you know, everyone has been connected to one singular being Victor. So, like, they're all one, and they're all, like, you know, they are the perfect being, so to speak. God damn it. So that's, like, Victor's whole motivation, is just to gather all of humanity into one being. And this is the aftermath of that, which is just a fucking hellscape. And this is, you know, this is where Jace has been throughout the entire time. This is why he comes back, like, looking like a homeless man. Whenever we leave him off at episode 6, when he kills off our boy, our man, Victor. Victor, of course, still being alive through, you know, some sort of magic fuckery with the Arcane. But he is not looking too good, Victor. He has seen better days. But he eventually comes up to the place, the hex core thingy, the place where the people in other dimensions have been. I don't actually know what the place is called. I don't know if it has a name. But the place with the JoJo reference. It is, I don't know. It feels so right but so wrong that Victor is still alive. But in terms of the story, it makes sense that he is. And that he, you know, he's just back for... Like, his plan has not been... His plan has not been altered whatsoever. So he is still going on about, like, oh, I need, you know... I need to not eradicate, but, like... summon all, be connected to all humans, so they are all connected to me, so they are all living their perfect little lives according to me. And they have a, you know, a little time skip. A war is going on, right? Where it is Imbasa versus the rest of Piltover, I guess. Mainly being... there are so many factions to keep track of, but it's basically everybody we know, except for Victor, there are 3 factions going at war here. It is Victor, the army of Victor, the army of Imbasa, and the army of Piltover, just going at it. Imbasa and Victor not really having anything to do with each other, I guess, other than Victor really wanting to control everybody. So I guess that includes Imbasa and her army. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much going on. I gotta collect my memories. This is basically just a little recap for my own sake to realize what the hell was actually going on this entire time, because we get the you know the final battle, the final clash, of course, being, you know, Victor comes to the top of the Hex Gates tower, and this is where we see, like, the, you know, there is a bunch of fucking cool ass scenery with, like, some dead, hollowed out people, basically, in this alternate timeline. Everything I've just explained is in the canon timeline, but in the alternate timeline, why is my controller doing this? It's just kind of living its own life now. I don't know. But in this alternate universe, where basically post Victor winning, we see Jace at the top of the Hex Gates, just like chilling there, kind of surrounded by a bunch of other folk, and, you know, epically standing there with his little battle hammer. And then I don't really know why he would crank the hammer, but something happens there, and he gets sent back to the reality. But in, like, overall, this entire universe just has some awesome ass scenery. With, you know, the entirety of Piltover, we get like a whole shot of that. Like, the entirety of Piltover is just both rotting and thriving in, you know, in one big... I don't really know. I don't know how to explain it. Look it up for yourself. It's fucking beautiful. So we get that shot, and just a shot of Jace walking throughout a bunch of basically corpses at this point. And we find out later that this is because of the war going on in Piltover between Imbasa and, you know, Imbasa's army and Piltover, the Piltover people. Again, the Piltover people finally actually coming together as one, as we have wanted throughout the entire story. They have, you know, the Overcity and the Undercity has actually come together. And we also see at the end of the show that somebody from the Undercity is finally joining the council, which basically just means that, yeah, we are, you know, we are more united than ever. So that's pretty cool. But you may ask if this is the aftermath, if the aftermath of this battle is, you know, the actual, it's just I don't know where I'm getting at. The universe gets saved by Echo, of all people, because Echo comes back, and in order to basically save Jinx. Jinx is, in this universe, she is Breaking Bad, let's be honest. She is, you know, he has this time device now, Echo does. He has this time device that can go back exactly 4 seconds. And that is, you know, not nearly enough to prevent Jinx from killing herself. Not even, you know, she is literally just blowing herself up in several of these timelines. I don't know how the timelines will work, if it's like separate universes timelines, or if it's just, I don't know, because that's how it works in most other stories, is that when you fuck with time, you basically just make a bunch of other versions of yourself. I don't know why this is the best I can come up with, but Rick and Morty, there is a whole episode dedicated to, like, Morty just using a time reverser to just make his day, fucking make his entire life on easy mode. And whenever he, like, fucks up and dies and, you know, pisses his pants in front of his crush and whatever, those things still happen, but just not in his own canonical universe. So that's a whole thing, and I don't know if that's what's happening here. It's not. It's never really explained. I don't know. It doesn't need to be explained. Let's be honest. But it's just, you know, it's there is some dimension hopping and some alternate realities. There's also the whole thing of Victor's. He can, you know, he is connected to this arcane universe. So he can essentially look at every single universe. He has, at the end of the series, he has lived through every universe. And, you know, he basically, what I'm getting out of this is that Victor has achieved his goal of, like, making perfection, basically. Making this unity of humanity. Which is really fucking cool that he has actually, you know, he has done what he set out to do. But in the end, he comes to the conclusion that, yeah, this is fucking boring. Basically, like, this is fucking boring. This is just a whole universe of nothing. Like, nothing is happening, nothing is, you know... Because in the search of perfection, you basically, you know, perfection is nothingness. Which, it's... I don't know why this happens sometimes. It happens a little too often, I think. But, you know, this exact message is very, very neatly tied together with another story that I'm currently reading, aka Soul Eater, which has just had a whole thing about creating nothingness and how meaningless perfection is. Because perfection is nothingness. And that's just... You know, it's a whole convoluted shit, so I'm glad that there are... I canonically get two of these explanations back to back, like two different takes on it, that are so different but so similar at the same time. Uh-oh. Wait, did I lose 4 of them to 0? I probably did, god damn it. Oh well. But they are so different but so similar due to the, you know, the character differences between, respectively, Death the Kid and Victor. Also due to their, you know, one actually achieves the thing. He achieves nothingness. And he has to come back to Jace, who is basically, I don't know if Jace himself, or if Victor himself comes to this conclusion, or if it is Jace that convinces him. But they basically both come to the conclusion that, yeah, perfection is fucking stupid. There is beauty in imperfection. Which leads me to yet another story that has very much the same message, being Bleach of all places. Bleach has this fella, this guy that I cannot remember the name of, but I probably should, because he was one of my favorite characters for this speech that I am about to give alone. He is a creepy fucking scientist guy, as all scientist guys tend to be. He is this creepy scientist guy who basically makes, you know, very morbid fucking experiments on everyone he comes by. And he comes across a guy that claims to be the perfect being. And this scientist guy, he basically have a spiel about, you know, perfection being so fucking boring. And, you know, the pursuit of nothingness, or the pursuit of perfection is basically fucking retarded and stupid. Because without, you know, if you achieve perfection, like, that's fucking it. There's no more beyond that. And that's just straight up boring to him. And that is, I fucking love that whole speech he has. Just go listen to the speech. Just search Bleach perfection speech. I'm gonna fucking do that after this just to like listen to it again. But it is, you know, it's basically what we see happening with Victor, is that he realizes that he has created his version of perfection, which is nothingness, but it also leads back to, again, Soul Eater with the, you know, not everything actually has to be perfect. God damn it, I had something else to add on to this, but there is, you know, it's such a convoluted fucking topic, but I'm so glad that it's tackled so perfectly. God, I really want to remember what I had to say there. God damn it, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, basically the conclusion to the entire story of the Victor timeline is that, you know, there is beauty in perfection, or in imperfection, and you don't have to, you know, it's basically valueless if there is perfection, if you know what I mean. Like, if perfection actually exists, perfection is meaningless, and it's only the impossibility of perfection that gives value to the pursuit of perfection. I don't know if that made sense, but it did to me. So that's a whole fucking convoluted thing going on, and that's basically the end to the series, which I fucking love. Because again, I'm not good at explaining this, but you know, I don't have to be good at explaining it because I feel it. It's basically in every single fucking timeline, nearly every single timeline, they come to the conclusion that, yeah, you know, Victor achieves nothingness. He achieves the unity of mankind. And at some point, Jace, like, the only thing that's constant in these timelines is Jace doing something. I don't know, I have to rewatch to get this fully comprehended, to fully understand this. There is so much about this that is, I don't know, I feel like there are so many things I've caught onto in this series, but there are at least as many things that I've missed, just during the entirety of the last act, the last part of season 2. There is so much going on. It is insane. And I haven't even mentioned Mel at this point. It is, I don't know, Mel's storyline is also the most confusing to me. Mostly because I don't really get why she did what she did. Other than her maybe just being a fucking psycho. She quite willingly basically joined a cult. And that cult being like the Black Rose cult. And I don't know, I was in the middle of them explaining what the Black Rose cult actually was. I was zoning out, thinking of a bunch of other shit, because again, so much is going on at the same time. Like, but everything kinda makes sense, at least a lot of the things make sense. But it just didn't get room to breathe as much as I would like it to. Which is probably, I didn't think of that before, that is just right here on the spot, that I feel like it was kind of rushed to some degree. But it makes sense that it was rushed because everything is like, you know, this is the culmination of everything. So it makes sense. But I would just like more time to breathe in between these huge moments and like understanding where everyone's coming from and what everybody is doing and where they're, you know, why they're doing what they do and stuff. It's there's a lot of things going on, and I just didn't get enough time to really let it sink in, which is again why I need a rewatch of this series. I don't know if that's like if that's a thing they just do to make, you know, a bunch of this shit is all very convoluted, but it's still really good. So you're really invested in the story, and it's, you know, you want to understand it, which is why I've already decided to go do a rewatch at some point. I don't know if that's some kind of goofy, elaborate marketing strategy. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but you know, I don't know. That's one of the small things that I would probably actually the biggest thing about this season. Again, it just feels kind of rushed, but not in a bad way, because I feel like rushed. I always think of rushed and very bad being the same thing. But it's not in this case at least. It's really good, but it's still rushed. So, I don't know where that leaves the series overall. Again, I will wait for my official rating until I've actually made a rewatch and finally understand what the hell is actually going on at each different point. Because, again, for example, with Mel, there is the whole, like, leader of the Black Rose thingy being basically a shapeshifter, just like hiding between different faces. We also see that the her brother that we thought were dead and was later confirmed again, I guess reconfirmed to be dead. She met her brother down in like some sort of pit, hellhole. Some kind of maze, I don't really know. She's basically under a genjutsu this entire time. So that allows a bunch of fuckery to go on. But we see that the person behind the genjutsu is, again, this Black Rose person who we first saw as some old lady attacking Ambassa. In retrospect, I don't really know why she attacked Ambassa, other than, you know, she has some sort of connection to the Black Rose. I don't really know what the hell is going on. But again, I suspect that I will know on a rewatch. Again, a bunch of this is very convoluted. And I don't think it's just a skill issue. I think that I've heard some opinions that is also, you know, not that it's rushed necessarily, but just that a lot of things is going on. And I feel like this is the way to... I don't know. Again, it's hard, because this series is really fucking good, and it really, like, as much as some of the plot doesn't make sense, I feel like it makes sense either way, because I just can't comprehend it, and I missed so many things. It's also, you know, they have a huge ass fucking budget to make small little Easter eggs, and I think they went fucking all out with that. Not really Easter eggs, but just like kind of foreshadowing things in general. So they probably had a little too much fun with that, and made every plot point foreshadowed, which just made things kind of confusing at some points. But you know, it is what it is. This series is still fucking great, and as long as it makes me feel things, as long as it rips my heart out and crushes it, and tosses it to the side, I'm grateful. That is a certified good series. So yeah, overall, I guess TLDR is, I don't really understand what's going on, but I feel what's going on. And that's, I don't know. I was about to say I don't need more, but I definitely need more than that. I need an explanation for everything going on, again, because I'm a little too invested at this point. I could maybe just get my sister to explain the entire plot, because she is also very invested in Arcane and everything going on there. She was the one who introduced me in the first place to the series, so, you know, and she has watched it several times, at least season 1. She is already on her second watch through of season 2. She's watching it with my dad, which is kind of goofy, but kind of funny. I don't know, my dad is not too big a fan of like anime and just like animated things in general, but he likes Arcane a lot. He a big fan, so that's pretty cool. Shut up. Yeah, that's a whole thing. I don't know. It's a I don't even know. I really want to rewatch like immediately, but I have other shit going on. I have other things I need to do. So I guess here I am, wanting more time. But uh-oh. God damn it. I'm getting good at collector, but there are also these moments where I just fumble the bag entirely. Fucking look at that, I just dashed into the guy. God damn it. It's really a coin flip at this point whether I get past collector or not. I still think it's, you know, how much I concentrate on him, but in reverse. Because now I stopped my yapping and I just lost immediately when I stopped yapping. So maybe I just need to continue yapping. Oh well, we'll see. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna do some more Red Dead. Red Dead is pretty good so far. So I'll keep you updated when I have updates. Over and out. Later.